No, my throat hurts right now. Hey Tails, what's up? I gotta share the stream on Twitter real quick. Hey Tails, what's up? I gotta share the stream on Twitter real quick. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hey Jens, how are you? So, I'm doing okay. I'm in Anaheim right now. I had to get a new tripod. Yeah, it wasn't great. Mine got stolen on the bus. This is kind of a better one because that acts as a tripod and a selfie stick. So it's a dual purpose, which is nice. How was VidCon? Okay, I'll take out my glasses and tell you. So, how do I put it into words? I'm gonna make a full video, but I'm gonna just tell you right now. Severely disappointing. I'll be upfront. Severely disappointing, but there was one person who not only made my VidCon amazing, but also showed me that I had value in myself as a person. I'll get into it a little bit. So, look, I only went for 1 day, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Some salt. So, but listen to me. I've had quite a bit of experience with conventions. So, I'm going in this with certain expectations for a reason. So, look, people tell you not to make expectations. That's when you know nothing, right? But when you've gone to so many conventions, where is Bo? I don't know what that is. Look, when you go into somewhere with some kind of expectation, because you've gone to so many conventions, it's like, well, this place better have something amazing. The show floor was boring. Like, there was maybe 1 or 2 things I thought was okay, and then it was just like, no, I'm not feeling this. So, basically, I tried to meet some of the special YouTubers. You need a reservation. And I was like, oh, this sucks. And mind you, I had limited resources. Oh, let's talk about that. We will in a moment. So, basically, as you can guess, the person, Bo Blacks, is my biggest savior. So, he came into my life. He helped me out. Not really, Jens. Look, if you want to be a special YouTuber, you need to be like at least 100K. You need to be spreading that freaking silver play button or gold play button to mean something. I'm not even there. I'm not. So, no matter what I do, it's not good enough for them. That's how they are. Basically, well, I don't want to be him. Like, look, I want to be him. I want to have his numbers, but I don't want to be him. So let me make it clear. I would love to have that person's numbers. What I don't want to have is that person's personality, the way they approach people, the way they use them like a bank. It's like, he's not a colleague, he's a colonizer. He just goes somewhere when he needs to check balance. He's not like us. He's not like us. He's not like us. So I stand firm on that. Like, he's not like us. He's not like us. Hey, run for your life. Seriously. So, you know, it's sad because I don't know how else to tell someone that they're a problem in a respectful way and how to fix it when they tell me they don't want it. And it's like, look, what are you trying to tell me, right? Look, right? You want to be popular on YouTube. And I gave you several ideas that made you popular. Maybe it didn't make you like Mr. Beast overnight, but you got from 30K to 100K subs by doing Tomodachi Life. And then when I come around to help you out and ask for help, you gaslight me and tell me I have to do everything on my own. So now I'm like, I'm done here. It's like the tools or skills you gave me didn't even work for anything. And it's like, you scam me. You scam me and you're laughing at it. And it's like, this is the problem with these people. It's like they get away with it, they allow it, they tell them how perfect they are, and I'm like, no. No, it doesn't work like that. So, let's really get into it, right? Alright, going back to VidCon, okay? Bull Black saved it. So, I was sitting down. Oh, he didn't. Liar, pants for hire, or whatever, fire. Whatever. I misheard it from Patrick from SpongeBob. But here's my point, right, about that guy, real quick. So, he had me tip him off about an early release for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. He had me tip him off for conventions such as E3 and PAX. And I gave him free stuff that I got from Nintendo that was really only mainly supposed to be for events. So this guy got a lot of special benefits from me. And how does he repay it? by telling me I have to work harder, by telling me I'm never good enough, by telling me I don't matter. That's what he would do. And it's like, I basically have to, like, the only thing I could do is if I had to record him, like, hook, line, and sinker, and, like, and basically, like, put him on his own cross. And it's like, look, we've all died for our own sins, but we're not Jesus, so don't tell me how to live my life if you can't even live yours. So, right. Let's get back into the convention, right? Let's go back to it. Bo Blacks, right? No, please don't, Jens. We've made it very clear I really don't want to, and that's why I'm not using that person's name. And really even talking about him, I really think that's like playing with fire. Let's be honest here. That person has so much power of abuse, they can do whatever they want. Thank you. So, right, I'm gonna have some wind, so I apologize. I can't really go into the target. Dude, not funny. But anyway, let me make a point, right? So, I met Bo Blacks. He's a cool streamer. He identifies as non-binary. Personally, I'm cool with what he does as long as he doesn't make his identity his only function. And with him, like, he's more genuine than Tipster. Like, way more genuine than Tipster. And it's like, he is stick, he's gonna have a legacy. Like, even though he's kind of an archive channel, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with archive channels. Archive channels are about documenting history. It doesn't mean people have to like it. It just means people have to understand why things exist. And they have to conceptualize it in a way of growth and progress. And if you can't, it's like, look, nobody likes the Holocaust or slavery, right? But what do those history lessons teach us? That people's definitions of fair are going to be different who you talk to. And if you're going to talk to someone and you don't like what they say, you don't necessarily have to toot to their horn or hang out with them, but you have to be aware in a way that makes you exist. And if you're going to go about anything into like vigilantism, you got to be careful there too. So, okay. Ugh. Look, Tails, here's the thing, right? When it comes to that person, and I really don't want to, but I'll talk. The thing is, like, I just don't want to talk about them anymore. I don't want to be around them anymore. It's toxic. It's negative. It's nasty. It's bad for everybody. And it's just like, look, if I really wanted to make a burn book, which I won't, I would rather do a documentary showcasing every time of facts. And there's a lot of people that have a problem with that person. But I don't have to do that. His wife already basically killed his career. His ex-wife, I should say. And we already know this. He can try to dust it under the rug, but it's like there's going to be breadcrumbs under the rug. And then you're going to dig, like, oh, what's this? It's like, you know, at this point, you might as well just own your scars, man. I have plenty of scars. I've had relationships where they were abusive and nasty. I'm glad some of you guys didn't see some of the stuff I had to go through. You'd be crying for me. So, yeah, I know what you mean, Tessa. I'm kind of frowning too. So, let's please keep that name out of the chat. Jens, Tails, guys. Tessa can agree. Moving on to VidCon. Thank you. So, VidCon. Yeah, Bo Black saved it. Not completely, but, you know, he salvaged it for it being still trash. But, you know, I have to give... Look, I give him major credit. You want to know the one reason why he saved it the most? He let me spend the night at his place. I got my own couch. He had his own bed. And you know what I did the next day? I took care of him. I got a couple. I got maybe 30 subs. Not a huge bump, but, you know, a little. Bo Blacks and I would have to talk about how much longer I'm in LA. Till Friday, then San Diego. Maybe to Comic-Con or something. You know, it really is hard for me to say. Because it's like, I want Donkey Kong game. Yeah, please stop, Tails. Please. Please. So, let's continue. So here's the thing that, right, let me tell you a bit about Bo Blacks. So Bo Blacks' first name, Josh. He's a cool guy. Are you staying at that hotel behind you? No. I'm staying in a hostel, unfortunately. I can't reveal where, because of my own privacy. And I'd really like to not be, bombarded. And the thing about, being, a channel that focuses on, like, real-life experiences while gaming is you kind of have to play the line of, are people going to respect me while I still do stuff? So... Sorry. I noticed that we have 4 likes and 8 watches. Hostel. Tails. H-O-S-T-E-L. Hostel, not hospital. Big difference. A hostel, right? Let me explain what that is. It's basically like a rooming situation, like a small clan or community of like 6 to 8 people. So sometimes the room can be as low as 4, sometimes it can go up to 8. It's all bunk beds. It's like a shared community space. A hostel is a hotel that's much cheaper than a regular, but you don't get privacy. There's a lot of things you don't get. So if you want privacy, you compromise your price, so you have a low price for the lack of privacy. So it's like, you want to be out in public? That's free. You want to go into Disneyland? That costs you money. So, I don't know what to tell you. A bunch of really cool weirdos. Yeah, I like weirdos. I'm basically a misfit. Born in a freaking family where the father's a dentist of 6, with freaking, like, dysfunctional family issues, and everyone's arguing who's the best. It's a normal family dynamic. What do you want me to tell you? There. So, you know, the sad thing is, I think you have to learn as you get older, is that you never really stop growing. Physically, kinda, but the thing about growth is, it's less so about the physical or necessarily the brain process. It's more so about the progress. It's like the journey that you have along the way, right? So the big thing you have to really consider is, how are you going to, because it has H in it? You're funny, Tails. So, no. But here's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody has to do something they don't like in life to keep going. But just because we don't like something doesn't mean we stop living, right? Case in example, we don't like the orange in the White House. But, you know, like, I have to be upfront, I didn't like how the pop stars reacted. Well, Tessa, I'm just thankful that you're accepting of me and my faults. And that you do like my music. Yeah, it was very heartwarming. The message was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sincere. And genuine. And I like that. So, but here's the thing, right? You know, I danced for you last night and I apologize. It was pixelated. I apologize, guys. Is it pixelated today? I can't, you know, it's hard. You did? Oh my god, Tessa. You're always worried about me, aren't you? You know, we can call sometime, maybe not now. Let me check what the stream stats are. I'm at 44%. Hold on one second. Alright, I'm back. Thank you. So I would like to have a video about talking about being alone and how even when you're alone, you're not alone. I think the hard part about being alone is kind of putting people in your head that you like versus people you don't like. And your brain is like in free mode, roaming mode, like your phone or your computer. And what's really hard is that it's so easy to think about something you hate more than what you like. And when you start thinking about what you hate, it just cascades in you. It's bad. It barrel rolls in such a negative way. And you know, the funny thing is, when it came to Bull Blacks and my time together. So, yeah, I like grass. See? I'm touching the grass. I can touch grass. I like grass. So, but let's go back to the point. I can put my camera thing down because tripod. Yay, tripod. So let's just arrange it a little bit more. Right, here we go. So, oh, damn, the wind's gonna knock it over. Okay, I need a backpack. Oh, hey, Ryder, what's up? All right, what's he saying now? Boblax is really cool. I like him a lot. You know, it's interesting because he identifies as non-binary, and I'm always like, okay, I don't want to offend anyone. I'm a human who's not gonna know how to address this. Please tell me whatever I have to address you by. And I'm always like, are you a man or a woman? And then when you're non-binary, I'm like, so you're non-binary this, okay? So you just do whatever. So it's all about social constructs, and it's like, look, there's an aspect, when it comes to gender, and I have to be honest, there's a layer, and it's kind of dependent on the person. It's sometimes very thin or very thick, and it's kind of a layer of, and to be honest, everybody has a little bit of that in their life, because life isn't about always being real, it's about being who you are. And what I mean is, life may not be real, but you are real. And in the moment, it might not look like you're genuine to yourself, but you're genuine to a side of yourself. And so what you gotta do is explain when needed. Oh, what's going on? Yes, I did, Marcus. And here's my personal opinion about that. And I'll get into it. Hello, Nick the Frenchie. So let me get into the whole Boblax thing. Boblax is a human being who did something that people did not like. That's basically, let me tell you, I don't know all the facts, but I'll tell you my speculations. Because that's all I can do. I can only tell you speculations. So, right. So when someone does something that people don't like, they're quick to call someone names because they don't like that. And I understand about this person's situation and what they did, but they did nothing wrong. Boblax is in the clean. He's innocent to me. And I stand by that. So, I am near Disneyland. It's up the street. I can't go. I might stream about getting into it. If someone wants to give me money to go into Disneyland for a day. So let's get into Boblax real quick. Oh, I'm talking about my friendship with Boblax. Boblax is one of the sweetest people I've met at VidCon, and the nicest. And the sad part is that he's unfairly maligned because people choose to not like him and make standards that are fit to themselves and not his. And when people do that, that's when they bully. That's the problem. And let me understand something. Just because someone wants to create content that is geared towards a certain audience does not make them a criminal. Let me make it very clear. I don't care if your content is for this age group, or that age group, or this age group. Just make sure you know how to hit the target. That's the case. But if someone comes in criticizing your target audience, saying, I don't like your content because it targets this group of people. Okay? So why do you have a problem with it? Oh, I'm just not a fan of it. Could you go into a little deeper? And then well, I'm not a fan of it. So if you're not a fan of it, why do you care? Oh, I don't care. But you just made a stink about it. Oh, well, I have free to have my opinion. It's like, what was the point? It's just, it's such a waste of time. You're just like, yes, you're entitled to your opinion. And we know what? Opinions are all like, and it's like, don't consume the content you don't care. Exactly. You don't have to consume mine. But people that do consume mine, let me make it very clear. People that consume mine like me for my personality and who I am. And what I represent. And what I attempt doing. And when I do succeed. When I don't succeed, they don't chastise me. Like, Nick, what happened? What went wrong? We're not going to hurt you, but we want to know what happened. So, otherwise, you can't grow. And I don't like that. I don't like, well, I do what I can, Cowboy, you know? Like, some people... Yeah, I wanted to go to the Paris one. Oh, I know about the Florida one. I prefer World better. I go to World. World all the way. But here's the thing, right? We can't control how people react to us. We can control how we react to other people. And if we get upset, it doesn't mean we're in the wrong. It just means you have to explain why you got upset. And if you got upset because I don't know, someone offended you. I like your videos, and I cannot like things you've done. Yeah, exactly. That's the point I made. You know, people are gonna do things you will never like. That's a fact of life. Do we get hung up on that? No. We do not. Now, I understand that my depression is not a reason to do things that you don't like to other people. But the thing is, life is so unfair, and I'm not going to hold back in saying this, that basically it almost feels like there's no other way to get someone's attention. Agreed. Granted, I'm someone who, when it comes to toxic people, I at least try to see where they come from first. Because at the end of the day, anyone can be toxic, right? Let me make it clear. Anybody can be toxic. And you really have to ask, well, why are you so bitter? Why so mean? And if the response is understandable, they give a valid response. You're like, look, I'm sorry the things that you wanted didn't go out the way you wanted. But instead of being upset that you didn't get what you wanted or needed, that you look at what you try to do and see what was successful and try to run with that. That's better advice than someone telling you, well, you failed, why don't you just leave? Okay, well, we all leave somewhere. Yeah. So, oh yeah. But here's the thing, when it comes to things you can't control, and this is important. It's very important when it comes to things you can't control. What is it that you can't control that you have to let go of, right? So someone might say, you know, I don't want to be around my family anymore. You know, after you hit a certain age, you don't have to be around them anymore. And if they're a certain way to you, probably a while. I'm wondering if I get to go back to San Francisco, honestly, because I probably have more footing in San Diego than anywhere else. I have so much footing in San Diego, it's not even funny. It is dependent on people, so that's the sad part. So, kinda. LA's not perfect. Oh my god. If Peter did not come to my rescue, I would have been... So basically, this is what happened. I had certain arrangements in San Francisco, and unfortunately, they fell through. So I had to make a lot of last-minute adjustments to survive. And you want to know how I survived? Culture. You know why? Because when I met up with Peter, and I networked with him, I told him I grew up in New Jersey. And he immediately said, yes, I've heard. Let me get to my point. So Peter told me, oh, I used to live in New Jersey. And I played a song from Bon Jovi saying you can't go home. Who says you can't go home? So, right. So what I love about that song is that it's very hometown and it's very relatable in where you grew up and the people and places you've been with and what you've accumulated over the years. And that even though, like, you might outgrow some parts that you've lived in, it doesn't mean you've outgrown the experience. It just means you've grown up. And when you've grown up, you can always go back. You don't have to live there anymore, but you can go back. I've been kind of being a bit bingy today on food. I just like, nom, nom. So some people, to a degree, it's part of that, and it's also how you took away from it. Because what you take away is what represents you. The thing is, though, I do want my family back together one day. And I stand by that. And I don't care if I fail, but I'm gonna try. So, and that's all I can do. And I just want someone to be like, you know what? I want Nick to succeed. I'm gonna make sure Nick succeeds. Because no one, no matter who they are or who someone thinks they're entitled, doesn't deserve for their family to be apart. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Don't let anyone tell you, yes, it's complicated. Easier said than done, Tails. Thank you. No, this is, the Bobos, I like them. I pulverized this cheese. I got 10 servings, who cares? I killed it all. I don't care, I'm gonna get fat. I'm gonna get pig. I'll do some DDR later. You know how much working out I used to do? No, I'm not. It's okay. Not great. I want to play more DDR. Yeah, DDR, Dance Dance Revolution. A friend of mine, he gave me a hostel room and Olive Garden. So we could do an Olive Garden mukbang. Who wants to do an Olive Garden mukbang? I know. Well, right now I need money. And I'm working on, when I get to San Diego, I'll try to do some Uber Eats delivery, but it's not going to be enough. The problem is, that Uber Eats delivery is crap. So I will try my hardest. Here's the big problem. Uber's not a scam, look. Don't say that. You can say anything's a scam at the end of the day. Here's the real problem. In San Diego, I'll be safe. I know how to take care of myself in San Diego. I have friends that can live there, so I can live there for a little bit. For Uber Eats delivery, oh my god. You just have to have an ID, take a picture, they clear you. That's it. And then you need a bike. No, Calcaboy, I did not go to Olive Garden. No. Look, I got a gift card. Let me show you something. My friend last night, right, $100 gift card. He gave me a $100 gift card. I probably shouldn't have revealed that. Now you don't want to buy me anything. But if you still want us to treat me, you can treat me in other ways. When you go into Olive Garden, I don't know, if I have foodborne illness, you'll see me throw up on stream. Does anyone want to see me throw up on stream? I've always wanted to throw up. Yeah, I can. But you know what that means, Calcaboy? You can give me the money for other things. You gotta admit, that was a good joke. That was a good joke. So, it's whatever. Look, I won't know. We'll see. Look, let me tell you something, alright? Me just going to Olive Garden is a risk. I don't really like Olive Garden. Like, as far as food goes, I almost rather go Cheesecake Factory. But, you know, when you talk about Olive Garden, it's tricky for many reasons. Hold on. Yeah, Marcus, I give it to you, but I can't. I'm sorry. You know what I really want is that Switch 2 so I can play the games. My brother has the console, and I have to work on trying to either get money or whatever for it. Someone left me a comment on my post. Hold on. Apologies, folks. I know I had to take a dip. Apologies. So. No details needed? Yeah, that's not how that works. So. Alright, we're gonna enact selfie mode. It's not that far. It's literally, you want me to walk to it? I could literally walk to it. It's gonna take me like maybe 20 minutes max to walk. So, maybe 10. Oh my god, I hope it doesn't copyright. I really need a better phone with longer battery life, and I'm sorry, Apple, you're garbage because I'm not gonna be using you. Whose bus is that? I don't know. Tails, I don't have every answer. You gotta just let it go on that one. So, I'm sorry. I really... Go on a roller coaster? Ooh, so, right, I should tell you some things. That's gonna be tough. Because Disney does have certain rules about selfie sticks. So, we're really gonna have to just play it by ear? Yeah, I don't... Here's the problem, right? They're gonna have certain rules and regulations for protections. If I go on a ride with a selfie stick and it like whacks someone, yeah, it's bad. I don't want that. I don't want to hurt anyone. Unless it's someone to hurt me. But that's different. I'm just kidding. Anyway. It depends on the city. There are cities that have great it really depends on... Look, if you're talking about transportation, it really depends on what you need to do and where you need to go. Because there's some transportation that, if you're like, say, New York City, very simple city, especially Manhattan. You can get almost anywhere you need to go within a decent amount of time. Granted, sometimes it can be a little bit longer, but at least you know what paths to take. LA is a little bit trickier, it's a lot bigger. So, because New York City is a lot more centralized, they have that advantage. So, granted, New York was a city that was more established, so... You've been to that Target? Okay. When do you want to pick me up tomorrow? Because I'm near this Target. That's where I'm staying. I'm staying near the Target. Calico Boy, when do you want to pick me up? Yes, correct. I'm on Harbor Boulevard. It says you could hold the... What? Sorry. Not really. That's really tough for me to say, Tails. I don't know. Right. I don't know if they're going to be receptive. This is the problem we're going to face. Okay. You do that, Calico Boy. I'll hold you up to that. So let's see what my charge is at right now. Oh, did we already go to 26%? God darn it. Yeah, this is the problem. When we hit 15, I have to end stream. So, I hit 1% on my phone last night. That is unacceptable. I cannot let my phone hit 1%. I need it for other functions, right? So if my phone hits 15, it's 15 and done. No one tipped for me to stream longer, and I stayed on as long as I could. And then I had to end, and it was pixelated. It was terrible. I don't know. The problem is, here's the problem. People don't want to hire. Everyone is like a cuck to their face. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, you should have seen the Trader Joe's. They were rejecting people left and right. And it's like, you basically have to sleep with the president of Disney to get a job. It's like full-on nepotism. I'm not kidding you. You could put on a little charade act. and be perfect and basically make the park sales go up. And they're like, well, we're not going to give it to you because we don't have to. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying it doesn't mean you don't try. I'm just saying, like, here's the problem with right? They're not entitled to give you anything. People can push you out of their lives, act like they don't exist, and then gaslight you to insanity. And then it's like, well, now what do you do? Sleep with who? The president of Disney? Well, I'm sure you would. So, but the point I'm making, right, is that how are you supposed to live your life when it comes to, like, look, people say things like, don't let other people determine your fate. Okay, but what happens if your fate is decided by a manager? Now what do you do? I caught you in a legal loophole. Now what do you do? So, heck, even with YouTube has its own rules and policies. So, and they can abuse those. People don't realize that. Oh, that's a good one, Marcus. I appreciate that joke. Become the manager. You're funny. You sure you're not working at YouTube? 24%. Okay. I'm gonna stay in the shade. Shade. We got a man in a wheelchair that we need to be respectful of. Did he hit the button? I'm a little concerned for him. We have 12 people watching and only 7 likes. Let's get that up, folks. So here's what I've learned when it comes to France, right? France. So here's a key about knowing that country. They limit your work hours. So let's say, I don't know, you have a very important monetary reason. It's a little on the communist side. That's not always good. So they're going that way, I'm going this way. Yep, see, even what's their face? No, see, I'm not stupid. I know other country stuff. Like, not all, but at least know a little bit of certain countries. And France is no exception, I know. So here's the thing. If you work in France, if you like that, that's fine. But for some people, it's like there's no compromise. So that's a compromise that would be necessary. Because if, for example, yeah, okay, downtown's probably fine. I hope I don't have to walk with that when I get older. That scares me. When I see people struggling walking, it makes me scared. You know, the one thing I'm always scared about the most isn't like lack of money, it's mobility. I want to be able to move into my 50s and 60s. It scares me to death, guys. It scares me. I believe Mickey Mouse is, like, it's basically like Mario, right? It's a guy in a suit. But here's the thing. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's a guy in a suit. It's not the real one. But here's the thing. If you want to, play the imagination game, I'm all for it. Like, look, meet your heroes, love your heroes. Your heroes are not perfect, but you love your heroes. Here's the takeaway. They're not going to be there every day. You have to know the schedule. You have to know when they're going to be there. You have to know how to do it, how to go about it. The people in the Mickey Mouse suit are usually women around 4'11", or probably Minnie Mouse. I can imagine Minnie. Mickey Mouse is usually a lot taller, from what I remember, unless they changed the heights. So I don't remember that. So I can't speak about that because the last time I went to Disneyland, I should tell you, 2018, great experience. Oh my God! You want to know what I loved about it? Mostly. I mean, I binged, like, a lot of cheese and such. I'm not really spending a lot of time, like, sitting down a lot. I do a lot of walking. And even in, like, San Francisco, I was all walking. All walking. Yeah. So see? People can attest. I'm telling the truth there. You have to schedule it. So we're kind of going in and out of conversations. Some people are talking about my fitness level. Others are talking about Disneyland. Most important. Well, that's definitely true. Look, I will still stream and such. So. Oh, yeah, they do. I definitely want to do that. I want to go to Universal. But here's the thing. We're going to have some problems, guys. I can't just stream on the rides. I don't think that's going to be a yes. I think that's going to be a bit of a problem. I'd have to basically sneak my phone onto the ride. That's going to be problematic. And I can't use my selfie stick. Why? That's a danger. I don't want to be a danger. And if I use my phone, yikes. So, look, you know, everyone is desperate to make content to make money. That's a fact, right? Facts. Why? Because if I don't have money, I can't pay bills, I can't do anything, and then I'm just dirt poor, begging for some man to take me to Olive Garden. So, no offense, I don't really want to go, but the only reason I'm doing it is because of you guys. And I will put myself out I will make some compromises. Some, but not all, okay? Don't expect me to be God. I will never be God, please. Like, oh my God, he's a god. No. I'm not a god. I'm human like me and everybody else. I might look like I've lived a while, but no. I'm lucky to hit adulthood. Honey, do you know how hard it is to hit 37 in this day and age? Well, if you want to donate, you're welcome to. I'm not stopping you. Although, you'll probably have to donate to my PayPal or Zelle. You know, if I start doing that stuff, here's my thing. You know, I wonder if they're very litigious when it comes to streamers. Because, so there was a recent streamer, and I hate saying this, but I have to address it if we're going to talk about it. Right? This person, I believe, I can't remember if they're trans or non-binary. And basically, I believe they were... Look, if anybody knows, please correct me, because I don't know all the facts. But I'm making a point based on the scenario. Less so about the specifics. They look male, but they identify as female. Whatever, fine. So one of the park staff has a misunderstanding. So what do you think the logical response should be from that streamer if there was a misunderstanding? Should they get offended? No, they shouldn't. Should be like, look, we're sorry. This is my pronouns. Moving on, say this. If it's repetitive, it might be a problem. So, might. You know, I'm not gonna hold back. I misgendered someone. And for some reason, my brain just wouldn't allow me to accept that. Because I'm not gonna hold back. I've had years of constant heteronormativity I can't accept half the time. But that doesn't make me phobic. It just makes me a person stuck in the past of society and hard to grow. But that doesn't make me phobic. It just means I'm struggling to make the effort, right? The effort to be a person in the modern age. And if I'm doing that, that someone has way more respect than someone who doesn't want to try. That's the key. The respect. So, let this be a TED Talk fact, right? Don't expect someone to just tell you that they have to always know your pronouns. Because if they don't, and you don't educate them, that's not on the person who misgendered. It's on the person who didn't clarify. So it's a two-way street. So, look, if someone misgenders me, I don't even care. You think I give about pronouns? Call me whatever you want. I prefer he, him. But if you misgender me and you're like her, she, we just laugh it off. It's like all gays are girls in some way. And some guys are like, you're not a T, are you? What? What's that? No, I'm not. Well, I don't identify as they, them, but you know, if I want to ambiguously code my gender, I'll do it as a joke. Yeah, they, them. Yeah, sometimes I do that. You know, the funny thing is, like, when I was talking to my family about who I dated, I referred to them as they and them. Why? The advantage of anonymity when talking to family members. You're protecting yourself, honey. I wouldn't. Oh, God, they're screaming. You know, it's totally normal. It's fine to just do things that make you happy and comfortable. And just do that for yourself. And I guarantee you, don't let anyone judge you. But if you have to be in an uncomfortable environment, do what has to be done. I'm not going to stop you. Don't do anything bad, but the black fatigue, some people in a community misrepresent the white whole. Oh, no, sorry, I misread that. Sorry. I misread that. I'm reading now. Well, that just sounds like BLM failing, honestly. You know, look, when it comes to social movements, let's get something straight, right? And I know I'm gay. How about let's get something gaily forward? Let me just tell you something. When it comes to a social movement, no matter the movement, your representation and your role model is in some ways more impactful than the effort itself. Why? Because people judge that on their decision making. That's a big impact. A huge one. Why? Because that's how people make decisions. They'll go to the polls, they'll be like, well, this is how I viewed this person, and well, this is how, you know, some people play the party politics game, but, yeah, but here's the thing, right? When it comes to any issue, they're always assessing how people of that background treat them. And unfortunately, that's a hard thing to kind of overcome because no matter who you are, well, you know, there might be some truth to that, but I think that BLM did have some weight in the social movement action. And I do think there's some truth in that, maybe, but I can't fully speak on it. So I'm not going to verify something as like total fact. It might sound plausible. Well, the thing about any minority group is you need to represent yourself with dignity and tact. And look, you always have to forgive yourself along with letting go. But if someone is so bad, you have to ask yourself, if I'm fighting this person because I don't like them, and not just because I don't like them, but they're representing some kind of injustice. It's a racist word? Okay. So I'm going to have to end stream shortly. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're at 15% right now, but it's typical of this stream. So, I want to thank you all for watching, and we can go on. Look, my phone charge is at 15, dude. I need it for other things. So, I got to go. Look, you can donate next one. I'll charge more. Bye. Yeah, it's going to be like, what, barely 100?